WDAM 7 First Alert Weather.
Hey there, folks, and welcome back. Temperatures across the area hanging out in the 30s and 40s. It's 41 degrees right now in Hattiesburg, but you folks in Laurel are looking out the door at 37. How about 35 for you folks in Collins and in Bay Springs? It's kind of cool as a weather person to look at this. You folks at home may not care, but I'm going to share it with you anyway. The line that you see in here, the difference between the 30s and the 40s, is the same line that shows up on the radar. Because we have something really cool happening out there. We've got evaporative cooling. That and the precip that's fallen down is falling from an area in the clouds where it's at or below freezing. So you're cooling places down where it's raining right now, where everybody else is still hanging out right around 40. Eventually, by the way, all of this rain that's falling, this will kind of pivot a little further off to the south. Not much, but a little further off to the south to include you folks in Columbia, which are already starting to see rain again. Hattiesburg, Petal, even Richton, and then out toward Waynesboro as well. The reason? Well, the cold air that was back off to the west slipped a little further off to the south. That means we're pulling in more moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. That also means everything that you see back here, including the blue, that's snow falling right now, will eventually march our direction, replacing the rain and sleet with good old-fashioned regular snowflakes. Because of that, winter storm warnings in effect for basically the central and northern parts of the area, Walthall County, Pearl River, Stone, and George counties, in our area not included, down along the coast either. I have a feeling that Walthall will eventually be added to this winter storm warning, maybe even Pearl River County, but we're going to have to watch to see how far off to the southeast this actually does sag. But to me, it seems silly that Marion County, they're just dictated by two different National Weather Service offices. That's the reason. But it seems to me kind of silly that Marion County anticipated to get anywhere between a ½ inch and an inch and a half. And for whatever reason, even though it's oriented in this direction, Walthall County doesn't. Yeah, anyway. Mixture of sleet and rain through about 1 o'clock in the morning across some of our northwestern counties. And then here comes the cold air. We start to make the switch over by 4 o'clock. To regular snow for a lot of us. And then in these patches, by the way, where you see heavier rain, you're probably going to be able to pull snow down from the mid-levels of the atmosphere, so you can probably look at the heavier splotches as places that will also see some snow. I think, again, most everybody switches over to snow between 4 and 10 o'clock in the morning. That was 7. Here we are at 10 before the warm air starts to win again as the sun comes out and we squeeze all that snow away and we're back to just regular old drizzle as we head through about noon. And then I think once we get past noon, this still has us with a little bit of drizzle. I suppose I can't argue with that. But I think once we get past lunch, for the most part, we're going to talk about drying things out and clearing things out as we head through the overnight hours. That's going to set us up for a very cold Saturday morning, by the way. 0 to a ½ inch possible. That means a dusting to maybe a ½ inch of snow outside of the darker blue areas. So for you folks in Purvis, Lumberton, out toward Beaumont, McLean, Leakesville, south of Waynesboro, Baxterville, and then out toward, let's see if we can throw a couple more towns in here as well. Twin out here as well. You folks, oh, too far. Let's go back. We'll also be dealing with some snow. Then a ½ inch to an inch and a half for places like Monticello, Tylertown, Columbia, Prentice, Bassfield, Seminary, Summerall, Collins, Ellisville, Petal, Hattiesburg, folks in Richton, Waynesboro, Shibuda, Quitman, Bay Springs, Raleigh, Lewin, Sandersville, Taylorsville. I mean, I can go through just the list of towns across the area. But anyway, between a ½ inch and about an inch and a half of snow. It's the mailbox snow, as I dubbed it on Facebook. It's going to cover up the mailbox. It's going to make your house look really pretty because there's a lot of moisture in the clouds right now. So you get the big fat snowflakes, and then big fat snowflakes then stick to other big fat snowflakes. So it's actually going to look, I think, really pretty in the morning if we do end up with a ½ inch to an inch of snow, because there won't be enough to pull the snow off of tree limbs, fence posts, your deck, stuff like that. I would highly recommend getting out in the morning. I know it might stink to wake up at 7 o'clock, but get out at like 7 and go take a picture of the house and put it on a Christmas card. Rain snow mix through the rest of tonight. Accumulations between 1.0 and 1.5. I think we get clearing into the afternoon. It's going to be cold Friday night. Temperatures around 25 on Saturday morning. So this is what it looks like as you wake up in the morning. Temperatures right around the freezing mark with snow falling. As we head into the afternoon, eventually we get rid of the snow and the rain. We're back to around 40, but I don't think many of us get quite there. And taking a look at the next 7 days, 25 on Saturday morning. That means anything that falls later tonight through tomorrow, it'll melt, I think, on Friday during the day. But whatever liquid is left over will then refreeze late Friday and into Saturday. So if you've got plans to drive somewhere, I heard on Facebook a lot of people going to like a 5K down on the coast. Please drive very carefully Saturday morning until you get past Wiggins. Real easy, because it's going to be really cold, and whatever liquid is left over is going to be ice, and we could be talking about black ice, and you ain't going to see that. And then you're going to be in the ditch before you know it, and I don't want to hear those stories.
There will be puddles on bridges everywhere.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. With bridges, you've got slush, where on the roads it's just going to be wet.
Right.
So please, folks, please, 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 take it easy, not only tomorrow, but also Saturday morning.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you so much for the information, Nick. What's going on in sports?